Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome to IMOLA, round 4 of our 2023 season here on F1 Manager 22. Good to see you all. How you doing, Anthony? My day's been good, thank you for asking. We are hopefully going to chase down our win today. We came so close last time out, we just didn't quite have enough to get the win, but we did get ourselves a podium. We ended up in second place for Pierre Gasly. Our season is certainly coming along very strongly. As you can see, we sit nicely in third place in the Constructors' Championship right now. And if we take a look at the drivers, 5th and 7th, it's shaping up to be a very interesting season indeed. Let's go ahead and set our performance targets for the race weekend. So the incentive is to get both drivers into Q2. That will be easy enough to do. I'm again going to say that we can get both drivers into the top 10. That's something we've been doing consistently all season so far. And as a result, we're also going to say both drivers will reach Q3. It's the same thing. So we're basically going to get a double payout for achieving the same target there. Fastest lap is the incentive. In terms of a finish position, I'm going to say that we can get both drivers to finish in the top 10. Hopefully higher up than 10th, but that's a good baseline, I think, for us. Quali streak, one car in top 14. That is the incentive that we can't change. It's quite an easy one to achieve, and as a result, it's not a particularly high payout, just $500,000 over 3 races. Our finish position streak, though, 2 cars finishing in the top 10. We are just into that. We failed the last one because of the big crash that Teo had at Jeddah, so hopefully this one can actually keep going when we can bring both cars home again. I want to quickly double check our cars, make sure we've got the most up-to-date parts on both cars. We do with the chassis. Front wing is being worked on right now. Both cars have the new rear wing and the side pods and the underfloor. And we're working on another suspension right now as well. So, yeah, it's all looking good. Let's head into the race weekend.
The hills of Tuscany are green to the south, but here in Imola, the air is red hot. Welcome to Ferrari's turf for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The track has been around since the 60s, but the first official Formula One race was held here in 1980. Let's see what excitement lies ahead this year. This is Imola, and it's an old-school track with plenty of elevation changes and lots of corners. There's only one DRS zone here, but it follows the long straight right before Tamburello, and should see plenty of action. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. Okay then, let's get to it.
So looking at the forecast for the weekend, we've got dry practice and dry quali, and then we have a very wet race in prospect. That could start wet, it could end wet, it could get wet partway through. It's going to be interesting. It could start very heavy and get quite light and then stay quite light. I get the feeling it's going to be full wet territory for most of the race. That could be good and bad for us. It will negate some of the advantage of the cars to some degree, but it will also cancel DRS, which if we are slightly off the pace and our straight line top line speed is a bit lower now, as we saw at the end of the last stream compared to the rest of the field, that could hurt us a little bit. And also we don't have the best drivers when it comes to changeable conditions. So Teo's still quite young. His adaptability rating has room for improvement. Gasly is decent, but there are going to be better wet drivers out there, so this could be a very interesting race weekend. Just having a quick look at the chat. Anthony says he's going to have to put another upgrade or 2 on his Astons on the edge of the points. Yeah, if you can squeeze in an upgrade without hampering next season's development, then by all means go for it. Just don't lose sight of the fact that the more development you do on your car now, the less prep you can put onto next season's car. And you saw from the streams that we did for last season how much of an improvement we made by just doing a lot of research and basically cancelling development on the car about just about halfway through the season. Farah's looking forward to ending the day with a nice glass of wine and a Jim Bob stream. That sounds like a good plan to me. Right, components. Let's start by swapping out what needs to be swapped out. So we'll change the engine over. Because it's a wet race, I may actually run the weaker engine. I have to think about that. That gearbox, pretty much done. I mean, we could get a little bit more out of it for practice, but I'd rather not take the risk. ERS, again, it's taken a bit of a knock from that crash. We're going to go with a 19 lap run. Trying to think how. No, we'll go with 20 laps. Driving options, obviously drop the pace down. Do I want to throw Logan into the car for this race? I think I do. Give him a little run out. So again, let's do the car parts. We're still on the weaker engine there. ERS is still weakest. Gearbox is still the first gearbox. This car obviously in much better shape because it didn't end up in the wall. Again, we'll go into 20 laps, drop the pace down, and now it's time to do the setups for the car. So we'll start with Teo's car. Again, using the starting values that we used last season, means we're going to go with a 6 front wing, a 13 rear wing, a 6.4 roll bar, a minus 3.4 tyre camber, and then a toe of 0. And everything sits within the target areas, so that's a good starting point. And let's have a look at the other car, Pierre's car. We'll go with a slightly higher front wing. We'll go with 7.5. We'll go with a 12.5 rear wing, a 4.6 roll bar, 3.5 on the camber, and then a toe of 0.10. And there we go. Everything's still within the target tolerances. So we've got two very different styles of setups. Let's see how they shake out. How you doing, Mr. Water? Good to see you.
Radio check. Radio check. Radio check.
And as always,
watch those curbs.
Watch the curbs. So with our drop in speed, there is every chance we're going to qualify at the lower end of the top 10 this time round. There's even a risk that Porsche might not even make the top 10. I hope that's not the case. I'm hoping we've still got enough pace in the car. Even if our straight line speed, our top line speed, isn't as high as it was compared to the rest of the field, we still have excellent cornering speeds. And I'm really hoping we can take advantage of that. We take a look at the circuit map. You can see sections by speed. There is a mixture of corners here, some high speed corners, a couple of medium speed corners, and a couple of low speed corners. So it's anyone's guess as to where we're going to shake out in terms of overall strength.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
Okay, any comments on balance?
Okay, 96% as a starting setup for Teo. That's nice and strong. Let's see how Pierre's car shakes out. Glad to see you feeling better, Mr. Watto. I know you were saying a couple of days ago that you were feeling a bit under the weather.
What was the balance, please?
And 84% for Logan. That's not too bad. Let's call him straight in. So we've got too much front wing. We need to trim that down. We've got too much, or not enough rear wing, so we need to push that up. Roll bar is okay. Let's switch it to a 5.5. Camber definitely needs to change a little bit, I think. Actually, no, let's leave that. Let's go with a 6.4. I think this might be very close to the same setup as Teo's car here, in the way that we go. The traction is, yeah, too much. We do need to go that way with traction. I just can't quite get enough. Might have to drop the front wing a little bit. I think that might be it. I don't know if I can actually get anything closer than that without maybe change the front wing a little bit more, and then it gives me a bit more flexibility. Let's try that. That brings the traction in a little bit closer. That might possibly be 100% right there. Okay, so Logan's back on track just as Teo's coming in. So let's try and make that same minor change that we've just done. So maybe change the front wing angle slightly. I'm going to give that a go, see how that works out. So some F1 news. The FIA have approached Red Bull with an agreement over their cost cap overspend, or cost cap breach.
How is the balance, please?
And asked them if they are willing to accept it. It's a little strange in the language that's used, but you know, it's not a suggestion as such. I mean, things are confidential right now. If Red Bull do accept the condition, or accept, you know, the verdict, then those details immediately become public. If they don't accept, then they can launch an appeal. It's a little strange to say that they've approached them and made an offer. Basically, it's giving them a punishment before making it public, which is a little bit strange, and saying, you know, this is our punishment. If you like it, or if you're happy to accept the terms that we're offering, then that will be it going forward. If you don't like it, you can make an appeal. I personally think it should all be out front and open right from the very start. There shouldn't be this period of giving Red Bull the chance to appeal or accept before anyone else even knows what those conditions are. I think that's a little bit underhand in some respects. It's not necessarily underhand. What's the word I'm looking for? It's very cloak and dagger. It shows a lack of transparency, which is something that the governing body is in desperate need of, I think. It's not. Yeah, it's the language that's used rather than the process. It's just, I don't agree with the fact that it's being kept confidential until an agreement has been, well, until Red Bull accepts, you know, the punishment that's handed out to them, or, you know, they lose their appeal. It should be, the verdict should be out front and open from day one, not kept confidential until it's been resolved.
Look at that! They've run wide!
It is essentially the same process. It's just one's done under a shroud of secrecy. The other one is done out, you know, the way, you know, the other way is the way I think it should be done, is all out in the open and everyone can see exactly what's going on. But the process is essentially exactly the same. It's just, as I say, it's just that cloak and dagger element to, you know, the shroud of secrecy over the proceedings until they're finalised. It shouldn't be like that, I think. It should be out and open right from the very start. How you doing, Hull? Good to see you.
Any comments on balance?
Okay, so we're close with Teo. 97%. That's good. We can get that nailed down in the next session. Yes, Aston also had a procedural breach, but we don't know whether that was a financial breach or just some paperwork that was incorrectly filed. Williams were fined, I think, $25,000 earlier in the season for a procedural breach over paperwork. I get the feeling Aston Martin's breach is similar to that of what Williams had earlier in the season. Whereas I do believe that this is an actual financial breach from Red Bull. Right, which way do I go with the front wing? Let's go down to a 5 on the front wing. No, I can't go that way because then I can't correct the other changes.
Good session, well done.
Okay, there we go. First session is over. Gasly now gets back into his car. Both setups are started. We have made some minimal progress on feedback on this new setup. All we know so far is that the cornering has stayed optimal, so we're still going to have to do a full run. We're going to send Gasly out for a full 40 laps here. And we're going to do 20 laps with Teo. Put him on a set of mediums. And Pierre's going to go onto a set of hards. Did I do the driving options for both drivers? Yes, I did. Into practice 2.
Okay, radio check.
Anthony says it's a shame as Verstappen has driven beautifully the last 2 seasons, but will always have an asterisk next to his titles. Well, this is what I said at the end of last season. I said that the biggest issue was the inconsistent stewarding throughout the season and the way that the title was decided. I do, as a Brit, have a natural bias towards Hamilton over Verstappen, but I do appreciate and acknowledge quality driving. Verstappen had moments of absolute brilliance last season. He also had some very blatant over-aggressive moments where he clearly forced overtakes in positions that he wasn't really able to force an overtake and didn't get penalised for it. There was some inconsistent stewarding. There was the issue of the safety car at Abu Dhabi. I do believe the title probably shouldn't have gone to Verstappen because of the way that those inconsistencies were handled,
now,
rather
we see
than
the Williams here.
You know, as a Lewis fan. You know, I mean, I'm going to support Lewis because I'm British.
Clearly,
He's
something
a British
went
driver.
Very, very wrong.
Not the biggest Lewis Hamilton
the team
fan.
Are really disappointed with that.
I was more
Let's
of a
hope
fan
it
of
doesn't
Jenson
set them
Button
back
when the
too
two of those
badly.
two were in the same team at McLaren years and years ago. I actually rooted for Button over Hamilton. But not to take anything away from either driver in terms of their ability. They are both amazing drivers. You know, class of the field, without a shadow of a doubt. But there was always going to be an asterisk over the title, no matter which way it was decided. You know, going into all the legal stuff at the end of the season, the fallout. If Verstappen won it, which he ended up doing, the asterisk was going to be over the way he won it. If it was appealed and then won by Hamilton on appeal through Mercedes, challenging, which they were threatening to do, then it would have been an asterisk over Lewis Hamilton's title because he would have had to go to court to get it. You know, so everyone lost out last season, and now, of course, we've got this ugly situation of financial impropriety, which could also have affected last season and this season. So it throws further shade on Verstappen's win last season and now calls into question Red Bull's dominance this season as well. And it just doesn't look good for the sport. Whichever way you fall in terms of which driver's your favourite, you know, which team's your favourite, it doesn't look good. Oh, this looks much better watching on your 4K TV than your Nokia smartphone. Yes, it's funny how that shakes out, isn't it? Okay, we're up to 99 with Gasly, so a little tweak will get him up to 100. I think if we can make that little tweak, we may just leave him at 99. But he's going to run for the rest of the session. He is actually going to run just short of the full session, so we're going to save a little bit of fuel.
Lift off, please.
So we can keep him out at the end.
Yeah.
We're still obviously waiting to find out if that change to Teo works.
That sounds like someone's gone wide there.
McLaren has always been Anthony's favourite, along with Williams in the early 90s. I've always been a Williams fan. I mean, I grew up watching Mansell in a Williams, you know, and Senna in a McLaren. But obviously, again, the British pride tended to go to Mansell over Senna. I mean, Senna was one of my boyhood heroes, and it broke my heart when he crashed in '94 and died at this very race circuit. But as much as I loved Senna, I always cheered on Mansell in the battle against Senna, because Mansell's a British driver, you know. I'm a British motorsport fan. The favourite race ever was Monaco '92. It's a very poor choice for a favourite race, I'm sorry.
We've had a crash.
Did I watch it live? Yes, I remember Mansell chasing down Senna. But Mansell had just strolled off into the distance. And then, what was it, a puncture, I think? And then he pits and chases down on much fresher tyres, chases down Senna, and Senna just parks his car in the middle of the track, and Mansell couldn't get past. But that's just Monaco, you know. It wasn't a great race. It was just an exciting finish to a very boring race. Oh, you mean, did I watch Senna's? Yes, I watched Senna's. I watched the race happen in real time, and then the second the race was over, I immediately turned on my radio and just listened to Radio 5 Live, listening for news of what happened to Senna. And then I think it was 5 p.m. in the evening, they announced that he'd been pronounced brain dead at hospital, and that was it. Oh, god damn it, Teo. Same corner, same... Ugh. And now he's out. Ugh. God damn it.
I think that was a crash.
Okay, I'm a little concerned about Teo for the race now. He's crashed twice on the same corner. First time he just broke the nose. This time he's broken the whole car.
Okay, mate. Terribly sorry. That's our race done, unfortunately.
Yeah, there are a few events that are burned into my memory that I'll never forget. I remember watching 9/11, you know, as the second plane hit, watching the towers fall. I remember Senna's death. You know, I'll never forget those moments. You know, they're just burned into my memory for eternity. Same weekend as Ratzenberger. Yeah, Ratzenberger died the day before. Barrichello also had a nasty crash as well that weekend, but was quite lucky to come away relatively unscathed.
We've just had a car run wide.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to keep him out. Never mind. Okay, we can maybe make that little correction. I hope that's enough. Liz leaving after 45 days will never leave my mind. Yeah. For those of you that aren't aware, Liz Truss is now the shortest reigning PM in UK history. She's gone after just 45 days. One of the papers, I'm not sure which one it was, but ran a feature that was that had an iceberg lettuce with a blonde wig and some stick-on eyes and a mouth. And they put that side by side with a picture of Liz Truss and said, which one of these has a longer shelf life? And it turns out it's the lettuce. Alright, so no point sending him out for just one lap.
Welcome back to what is proving to be an exciting weekend of Formula One racing, with practice coming to a close today and qualifying set to follow. Yesterday's action gave us a fantastic taste of what is to come, and the anticipation within the paddock continues to grow. Qualifying promises to be as unrelenting as ever. Only the best, the most consistent drivers can progress from one period to the next and stand a chance of earning a place at the front of the grid. So here we are, ready to resume.
Right, so we have 100% feedback on Teo's car. So as long as he doesn't crash it again, then we should get everything up nicely. We're going to go with 35 laps of fuel and hope that's enough. In terms of car parts, I'm a little worried about not having enough front wings now, so I'm going to have to emergency manufacture 2 more, seeing as we lost 2 in the space of 20 minutes. So that's 2 million, or however much that was, 1.5 mil gone. Not good. Driving options, we're going to go nice and slow. Need to change the tyres to a set of hards. Do the same for Pierre. Change to mediums this time. We're going to go with another 42 laps. Go to slow. And let's send the guys out.
The radio is good? You can hear me, huh?
Radio check, okay.
Okay, let's see how our drivers do this time out. Teo, if you crash the goddamn car again, I'm going to think about replacing you. Avoid curbs. I wish there was an option for avoid locking up and going into the wall as well. How you doing, JBS?
Someone's run wide.
Yuki having another Yuki moment.
What was the balance, please?
Okay, that little tweak we made to Gasly was enough. He is at 100%.
Okay, copy that.
So both drivers with maximum on their cars. It's a big queue of traffic that we're holding up there. And now we just need to get their feedback ratings up. Their track knowledge ratings up. Okay, so we're looking at about 10 minutes left in the session for Gasly once he gets up to 100. And about 15 minutes left in the session
I
for
think someone's run wide.
Porsche. Let's hope they can reach those timestamps without doing anything stupid. It's looking very close at the top of the time sheets. I mean, again, it's only practice, so it doesn't really mean that much, but...
Oh, did someone run wide there?
Okay, Porsche is in. He's done his run.
I think we've had a car run wide.
And that's enough for Gasly.
That sounds like someone's gone wide there.
Thought your laptop had died and you realised it was just a screensaver. How you doing, Dev?
Fail 84, please. Fail 84.
Crofty's commentary in this game. Yeah, it's awful. It really is. How's the stream going? The stream's going good. We're just finishing off practice. We're about to get into quali and then the race itself. So the interesting stuff's about to start. It's diabolical. Are you talking about Crofty or the stream? I'm hoping you're talking about Crofty there. Oh, Dev, if you speak to your dad in the next hour or so, tell him to shoot me a message on WhatsApp if he wants to jump on for some Fate of the Nostromo this week. Right, quali, do I stick with the worn out engines and save? Decisions. I'm going to go with the better engine for Teo. ERS module's fine, gearbox is fine. And let's go with a better engine for Pierre as well. Again, ERS and gearbox are okay.
And radio check.
Alright, so we've got the pace to get through first session, no problem at all. So we're going to wait until we've got a bit more rubber on the track and a little bit of clear air. How long at a guess would it take Teo to reach his potential? Several years. I'd say probably at least 6 years.
2 cars out.
2 cars have crashed in quali.
Okay.
Which ones?
Was that a crash? Multiple cars, I think. We can take a look now. Now watch this. Here's the moments involving
Oh,
Albon.
someone ran wide there. Oh,
Really see the contact
that was
there,
clumsy.
and that caused
Okay,
a
so that
lot
neither of them are
damage.
out, but yeah, that might be a penalty for one of them.
And that was a bitter blow for the team.
No penalty awarded yet. Okay, maybe it was just considered a racing accident. Okay, getting ready to send out the drivers. Let's send out Teo first. And there goes Gasly. And here comes the rest of the field, so we timed that quite nicely. Clean air without the risk of a yellow flag destroying us. Oh, I said that, and immediately Porsche has a little wobble. It's okay, he just slightly cut the corner.
Who's running wide there? Here's the replay. Now we see the Williams here. They're way off the racing line there. That isn't...
Just hopefully he hasn't undamaged the underfloor. Doesn't seem to. So looks like we got away with that. Gasly's looking mighty fast. Oh, of course he's got a brand new engine, that's why.
Comments when you're back in the garage and plugged in.
Okay, so Porsche has a little wobble, means he qualifies in 10th at the end of the first session. Not great. Gasly goes pole, provisionally. But it is a little concern to see Porsche not getting into the top 10 there. So we're going to do a dummy run, get a banker lap in. I did change its engine, didn't I? Yes, I did. For both drivers, just in case something happens.
Yeah, we can now, radio check.
Your missus is snoring on the sofa. Yeah, I'm sure she'll love you for telling the tens of people watching this stream. All right. Let's hope we get a nice clean run here. No traffic, that's good. Gasly lighting up the timing screens again. That's the power of a brand new engine for you. Porsche much closer this time, that's good to see. Shame you can't send a picture, maybe you'll stream it. You do realise that you'll be replacing her on the sofa if you do that. How to sleep alone at night in one easy step. Okay, fresh tyres. Let's see if Porsche can improve his time a little bit. He's up in the first and second sectors. Crosses the line. Does improve his time, but not his position. Gasly takes another 10th off his time. Ooh, Alonso dipping out of the top 10 there. Right. Choices. I should theoretically be running a weaker engine here in line with the rest of the field, but I kind of want that first pole position. So I'm going to stick with the brand new engine. Once again, we're going to do a banker lap at the start of the session. This race looking a bit more tricky.
How's the radio on track?
We've got the weather to come as well. We don't know how much that's going to affect things. Oh, don't get in the way, Leclerc. Okay, we got through without any hold-up. Bottas not quite so lucky. He'll have been held very slightly there. 4/10 the gap. 14.5 on scrub tyres. That's not too bad. The AI setting theirs on brand new tyres. So we still have provisional pole. Very interesting. And we're close to Russell, so there's a good chance that we might actually be able to jump Russell here. Get P5 with Teo. And this time we're going to be last across the line. So, giving both drivers a bit of space from each other. Bottas does not improve. Leclerc goes P2. Verstappen stays in third. Russell has not improved. I don't think any of these guys are improving. They're all on scrubs. So it's literally Teo and Gasly that are going to improve their times. Pourchaire's up in both sectors. Gasly's gone purple in the middle. Let's get Russell. Yes, we jumped Russell. So we're up to 7th with Teo. And does Gasly improve his time? He does. Not by much, but a bit. And there we go. We have our first pole position of the season.
Tension continues to build here as race day begins.
Seeing how they did in qualifying, Williams are going to be the team to watch here. They'll be starting strong at the top of the grid and will have many opportunities to steer the race in their favour.
Oh, it's going to go wet, very early. And then it's going to ease off, and then it's going to go very wet again. And then it's going to be dry for the rest of the race. So let's clear out all of these strategies. and build one from scratch. We're going to start on a set of softs, and then we are going to go to a set of full wets. It won't let me change the lap, which is annoying. Might be because there's not enough. Why would it let me change that? Okay, let's try this again. So, I've got an opening stint. We're going to go full attack on those tyres, and we're going to add in. Again, it's not letting me do it. We're going to go straight to full wets. We're going to look at building in redundancy for an intermediate stop around about here, because even 5 laps on the wrong wet tyre can be fatal in terms of our race win chances. We're going to go back to a set of full wets around about here, and then inters again around about here, and then after that we're going to be looking at softs or mediums. Let's have a look at softs. Around lap 40. It's a bit of a stretch. Let's go mediums to be safe. Yeah. So there we go. That's our kind of prep strategy. Obviously we'll have to change that as we go. We've got the sex pots back again. Let's hide the user on the channel. Report spam and post. There we go. Right. So yeah, that is our potential strategy, and then we'll just see what happens with the need to switch between wets and inters as we go. Might not need to. So once again, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. I'm going to try editing this strategy and see if I can. It won't let me go below 5 laps. That's weird. So full attack there. Then we want to go to a set of inters, and then another set of wets, and then another set of inters, and then a set of mediums. So let's go ahead and reposition these particular stops. So inters around about lap 15. This is assuming that our predictions are correct. Obviously our weather station is not the highest spec, so this might not be a particularly accurate forecast to work from, but we'll make do with what we've got. And we can adjust on the fly as we go. Oops, no, I don't want another stint on top. There we go. A 5-stop race is enough. So, strategies are set. Fuel we're going to leave as is so we can really push, because we know we've got wet race coming. We've got wet weather coming right at the start of the race. We're going to go full attack right from the very start. Try and build a bit of a gap with our drivers. Teo needs to try and make up some positions if he can. Gasly needs to try and just sprint off into the distance if he can.
Quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid. There we have Pierre Gasly. He won today. Let's see if they can take advantage of that position. And looking at the second Williams car. They're in the front half of the pack, so there's plenty of potential for them. The race start is mere seconds away. The crowd are on their feet in anticipation of this, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
Okay, Gasly gets away well, holds position. Pourchaire's been taken by Russell, gets the position back again. They're still side by side by the look of it. No, he's got clear through now back into 7th. And Porsche is trying to break away straight away and create that gap. Let's focus on Porsche. Trying to go side by side with Perez up the hill and gets him. So the AI starting on hard tyres.
Awesome, keep it up.
Okay, so the AI just not paying any attention to the weather itself and just going straight onto traditional starting strategies.
Just gained by Williams.
Tyres are overheating because we're pushing them like crazy, but we need to. And already Gasly has broken out almost 2 seconds. This is exactly what we need from Pierre Gasly. Exploit the power of the brand new engine and just sprint away. Teo needs to use this time to try and force his way up the order quickly before the pit stops start kicking in. That rain is coming, it's another couple of laps away. Makes the move on Hamilton. Verstappen up next.
Okay, nice work. Good job.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
It's in the bag already, especially with me on softs. Well, I'm gambling by sacrificing a brand new engine straight away, you know, very early in the season,
Okay,
to try and get that first win under my belt and to take advantage of the wet weather. My hope is that I can calm the engine right down later in the race and save some wear on it. Okay, both drivers are out of battery. Gonna harvest.
We've just had a car run wide.
Charge on.
Oh, Ricciardo having a
Let's
wobble.
take a look at the replay. Daniel Ricciardo involved here.
And that's going to drop into the back.
Oh dear, that's far wider than they would have wanted.
Porsche, we're just going to leave on neutral so that he has got some battery to try and push through an overtake. If we can at least split the Ferraris before the rain starts, that would be ideal. Because it's probably the lead Ferrari of Leclerc that's going to pit first. Sainz will have to do another lap, and we don't want to be stuck behind him. Oh, yeah, we're going to get stuck. Okay, so let's go straight onto the wet tyres.
A little bit of rain on the track.
It's a little early for wets, but we are going for them anyway. Because we know that the full wet weather is coming.
Box, 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 box.
Yeah, in the box.
Okay, copy that.
Both of them are staying out. Have we pitted a lap early? Well, maybe, maybe not. I think we'll be okay. Guys behind are going to pit because it's a lot more certain that it's going to be wet by the time they get out the pits. We're just about timing us perfectly by the look of it. We didn't get held in the pits, which was important. We are going to have some slow cars to deal with in front of us. We need to calm these tyres right down because they're going to melt in these conditions. It's not wet enough
The pace.
for full wets, but it's too dry.
We need a
Or
little
too wet
bit
for
more
dries.
lift-off, please.
Copy.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please. Recharge on.
So now we need the track to hurry up and go straight to full wets. The rest of the field is probably going to pit for inters. Let's see if that's bearing out. Norris and Ricciardo have gambled with the wets, same as we have. So far, only 3 other cars have pitted. Magnussen, Albon and Zhou. And they've gone for the inters. So right now, they are going to be fast. And you can see that Magnussen has already caught and passed Porsche. He's going to be steaming up on the back of Gasly. Front runners are starting to pit. Oh, Ferrari are double stacking. I am surprised.
Overtake there.
And Perez, poor Perez, is not being double stacked. So Perez's race is being ruined here. Look how fast Magnussen is compared to us on those inters against our wets. We do get out in front of Hamilton, but we're out behind Verstappen, so we have lost out by pitting as early as we did. And now we're going to lose a huge amount of time to Verstappen as well. We've got that wet weather's coming, but it needs to come ASAP, or else we're going to lose more time than we can afford to, and Verstappen could easily make up his pit stop.
I'm just all over the place.
So we keep focusing on the pace.
Need that full rain to come. We're just getting swallowed up by the inter runners right now. Oh, and here it comes. Okay, so what's Perez going to pit to? Is he going to pit for the inters, or is he going to pit for full wets?
They've moved up a place.
Look how much time we've lost just on a couple of laps of wet tyres against inters.
Don't tell me we can't do anything.
Alpha Tower, he gained a place.
Okay, Perez comes out of the pits ahead of us. He has gone on to inters. We are really losing so much time right now. We're 15 seconds off the lead. But it's getting wetter and wetter. And we need it to get much wetter than this. This isn't enough. And I'm starting to look at that chart and think full wets might not have been the way to go.
Alpine just advanced.
Our pace is definitely picking up. Stop, I forgot we were charging the ERS as well. Let's turn that off.
Recharge off.
Okay, 17 seconds off Verstappen. But now we're into full wet territory. Question is it going to stay wet, you know, at this level of wet long enough for us to make that back? Is it going to force the AI into pitting onto wets? If it does, this is a golden lap for us. In fact, it's such a golden lap for us, I'm actually going to push the tyres.
Let's pick our pace up, let's go.
On both cars. This is the moment when we really need to take advantage of the AI team's indecision as to whether to stay on inters and ride it out,
required from our side at the moment,
or switch to wets. And the track water's coming down.
Let's lift off, please.
I'm really hoping we're going to get more rain. We desperately need more heavy rain, otherwise our strategy is screwed and we've thrown away a chance of a win here.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
have we misread how wet it was going to get? I'm starting to think we have. The advantage we have isn't that great. The track isn't that much wetter than Interpace. As you can see by the fact that we're struggling to find a way past Albon. There we go, finally forced to move.
You're doing a good job.
I don't think the track is
There's
going
an
to stay
overtake
wet
from
enough.
Williams.
I think we should have gone for Inters, and now we're in trouble. Because we're going to drop way down the field.
Okay, let's box at the end of this lap, please.
Porsche has nothing left to lose, really. He's already way down the field in 13th. Let's give him some overtake, see if he can force his way past the Ferrari.
Press and hold overtake now, please. Press and hold overtake now.
I think we seriously misjudged the volume of rain we were going to get. We've got more rain on the way, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to push us back into full wet territory. We have to kind of tough it out for another lap, I think, with Gasly. See what happens. No, we're into the period where it's too late. We should have pitted. Damn it. Okay, so that's our race ruined. I don't even know if it's going to get wet enough with that heavy rain coming later for us to need to switch back onto full wets. This might be Inters all the way through now. Oh, what a disaster. We're going to have better condition Inters than the rest of the field, but we are so far off the pace with Porsche now. Gasly not really able to do that much. I mean, we're having to really hammer everything, you know, in terms of the tyres and the fuel just to stay competitive. So we've made a major error. So now it's kind of a good thing that we have kept the new engine in the car, because it will help us fight our way back through the field. But it's another win gone. We can fight our way back up into the points with both cars, but this is going to be a painful race. This is a lot more painful than the start of the season than Bahrain was, because this was my own stupid error.
need to drop the pace.
Yeah.
So we have lost 37 seconds to Verstappen over that error with tyres. I need to update my weather centre. Yes, I do. I think it's actually in the middle of an update right now. I'm not sure. We'll check at the end of the stream. But at the end of the race. We've been so focusing on upgrading the car facilities that we've paid very little attention to the weather centre. I think we've only given it one upgrade in total. Maybe just started the second one. We can make up some time if we pit a couple of laps before the AI do. Yeah, we can make up some time, but yeah, now we need to just focus on pace, getting us back up through the field. We don't have the DRS to help us with the overtakes. Ricciardo has pitted, so he's given up the ghost on his wet tyres. Norris, the only other driver still on wets.
Okay, Ricciardo likely to box. Ricciardo likely to box this lap. Overtake available.
Copy.
This is something we're going to have to use a lot of now. ERS to push the overtakes through.
Okay, that's good, very good.
So the only saving grace we have right now is we've got a fast car and our tyres are slightly better. But not by much.
Give us more lift off, please.
And now we need to ease off the fuel as well.
Lift and coast required.
There goes Norris into the pits.
One click overtake available.
Yeah, copy.
Got to hope for a safety car to bring the field back together again now. We didn't get a good launch out of Tamburello. Maybe out the chicane we can get a run down the inside. Nope, the Haas is having that idea. Okay, can we go around the outside of the Haas? He's switching sides. Let's go full deploy. Try and force the issue on the straight.
Okay, we need some deploy.
Yeah.
We need to clear these two as quickly as we can because we are getting held up now. Oh, this is painful to watch.
We need to push.
Yeah.
I need Verstappen to do something stupid. Don't care about Yuki or Magnussen. When we're going to get past those guys, no problem at all. It's, you know, we need Verstappen to do something stupid and take himself out of contention. All right, there we go. That's Yuki out of the way. We've got a run on Mick here.
Very good.
Up the inside. beautiful. There we go. Right, battery onto neutral.
Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
Now I've got to do that all over again with Teo when he
Very
catches
good
them.
job.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
So we lost about 2.5 seconds stuck behind those two. And now I need to try and find time to recharge Gasly's battery. I'm just going to have to wait on that for a bit, I think. More important is moving him back up through the field as quickly as possible. Someone's locked up in sector 3.
And that's the lockup. Let's take a closer look. Now look at this. It was the Alpha Tauri driver involved. Oh, and there's the lockup. That's the last thing they'll have wanted.
Okay, that has helped us. That's dropped him
And the team
within
had
striking
such
distance
high
of
hopes
us.
today. What a shame.
Okay, Porsche is closing about 1.5 seconds a lap on Schumacher and Tsunoda. We're closing at about 1 second a lap on Bottas. Stroll's time we can ignore because he had that off. Interestingly enough, Albon, being where he is holding up a queue of Russell, Leclerc, Zhou and Vettel, and we are lapping 1 second a lap faster than them. Actually no, Zhou and Vettel are separate. We're actually closing down Zhou by 1.5 seconds. Get this move done quickly. Go on up the inside. There we go. Good, brave overtaking there. Ah, Stroll got the better line. From now on, I think we need to be a little bit more cautious with our strategy predictions for wet weather. We can't just go, oh, it's going to be full wet weather. We might just have to, unless it's glaringly obvious, then I think we're going to have to take the step of going to intermediates first from now on. What I should have done was paid more attention to the fact that the track grip didn't plummet. If that had gone straight to the floor, then yeah, that would have been a clear indicator of wet weather, like full wets. Come on, get the move done. I've got no battery really to fight this. Up the inside, on the brakes. Finally, we're past Gasly. Gasly's past Stroll. Now we can start chasing down Bottas.
This was good.
And there's Porsche coming onto the back of Stroll and Schumacher. Sorry, Stroll, Tsunoda and Schumacher.
A new position just gained by Williams.
Oh, wrong button. There we go. So we're doing 123.5s. We are lapping slightly slower than the leaders with Porsche. That's not encouraging. Let's see what Gasly can do once he gets clear air. Bottas has caught up with Vettel and Zhou. So that's going to be a three-way fight now. Gasly does a 122.9. Okay, that is encouraging. Porsche 123.0. Okay. We knew he was going to be a little bit more inconsistent in the wet because he is not the greatest wet driver, but Porsche running wide. Just cutting the corner slightly.
Oh, they've run wide.
Okay, so let's go full deploy. Let's turn the tyres up a little bit. Have we got a run here on Tsunoda? He's looking a bit twitchy. Brave, be brave. Keep pushing through. Good man.
Did a good job with everything so far.
Trying to go around the outside of Mick Schumacher here.
Williams.
Up the inside into the chicane. Brave on the brakes. There we go. Good exit, please. And there we go. Cleared those much faster this time round.
Good job.
But we have killed the battery in the process.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please.
Right, let's check back in with Pierre. Tyres are still better than the rest of the field, but again, only by a little bit. The only ones with slightly better tyres than us are Norris and Ricciardo, because they waited even longer to switch back onto Inters, and well, yeah, they're dead. They're 20 seconds behind Tsunoda. Bottas has already got past Zhou. He was holding up Vettel. Vettel trying to break away now. Someone's gone wide.
Someone's run wide. Let's see what happened.
Just Ricciardo just cutting the corner.
This. Daniel Ricciardo
just running a little bit wide there.
Well,
yeah, didn't really do much. We need to clear Zhou nice and quickly. We've got a big car advantage over the Aston Martin here. We're not getting through this lap. So let's try and get a little bit of battery in the car.
Charge on, charge on.
Okay.
I was hoping he might have a quick look at the inside. Here comes that heavy rain, back into full wet territory, but it's only going to be brief. Is anyone in the AI going to bite? Hamilton's pitting. Sainz is pitting. Oh wow, the whole field is pitting. I think if that many people are pitting, do we go for it as well? No. I'm not going to take that. It's only going to be a very short window where these tyres are going to be better than the ones we're on right now, I think. Have we screwed this up again? I really hope the answer is no.
Charge off.
Copy.
It looks like it could get wetter for longer this time round. I really hope that's not the case.
Keep your head in the game.
All the hard work we did
Ricciardo in the pit lane.
fighting back
Ricciardo
up
in the pit lane.
is coming undone again.
That's a position gained for Alpha Tauri.
Verstappen's pitting. It's not getting wetter. But it's not drying up yet. Right now, the best thing we can do is just
So we
hope
keep
that that
focusing on the
starts
pace?
drying up quickly. It's starting to dry already. So we've pulled back a chunk of
That's
time.
a good overtake from Alpine.
More cars are pitting. Are they switching back to inters or are they switching onto wets? And we fought Gasly back into 5th place just by way of keeping him out there, and the track is drying, so we might have just salvaged this race as far as Pierre goes. Not so sure about Porsche.
Sonoda leaving the pit lane now.
Everyone else is switched onto the wets, but the track is drying. I think the AI has made the mistake this time. They've got a momentary window where their tyres are better, but that's going to fall away quickly, and they're going to be in the predicament that we were in at the start of the race, where we went onto the full wets, had a period where we were losing because the tyres weren't the right ones. Then the window came to us, and then it closed very, very quickly, and we had to pit onto the correct tyres. I'm banking on it being another very small window. Let's see what the gaps are. We're only 22 seconds off Verstappen now. So we have pulled back 15 seconds. We're almost backing into territory already. The win is back on, potentially. I think you lose about 25, 26 seconds on a pit stop here. Let's see what the prediction is. About 29 seconds. It's not that much. I think it's about 25, 26 seconds. So we're looking okay, but we're going to have warm tyres in comparison to the AI. But there you can see there's not much wet weather left before the track dries up completely. I think Gasly is looking like he could now be back on for the win. And Verstappen's back in. He's going for fresh inters. I was hoping he'd stay out another lap. Hamilton's in. Sainz is going to surely pit. Yep, Sainz is in the pits. Ocon as well. Yeah.
On the Hamilton has pitted.
We're staying out. Verstappen is leaving the pit lane now.
Sainz in the pits.
There he is. And we're back into the lead. Whew.
Alonso just pitted.
Oh, that was close. Perez has definitely benefited from that, but now I've got to hold back to charging Red Bulls on brand new Inter tyres, which are going to be a lot more durable than ours. Porsche has jumped back up to 8th place. It's getting wetter again. Oh, is the AI going to... Oh, wow, some of the AI hasn't pitted. Okay, Perez hasn't pitted yet. Albon, Russell, Leclerc, they haven't pitted yet. Now the track's coming back to those guys. That's fine with Gasly. I've got Verstappen behind me, who's going to hold people up. Oh, Perez is through already. I had a little safety cushion. That's kind of gone now, but the track's getting wetter again. Which is completely against the prediction that we have. And it's stopped, or stopping. And Perez is pitted. And so is Leclerc and Russell, so they must be coming in for Inters now. Albon's still out on wets. He's going to be on for some serious points if he can keep his strategy calls right here. Right now, he needs to do another couple of laps before he pits. Needs to maximise those wets while he's still got them. This is turning into a bizarre race in terms of driver strategy here. Everyone's making mistakes, not just us, which is good to see. Verstappen is half a second behind Gasly. Albon's right up there as well. Oh, we've got to switch to the front. Albon is challenging for second place here. And he gets it. Now we're at risk of being overtaken by Albon. He's got us. He's doing exactly what he needs to. He's maximising those wet tyres. Now, is he going to pit this lap or is he going to stay out? He's staying out another lap.
Alpha Tower regained a place.
The usurper has been usurped. We stole Albon's seat with Gasly, and now he's stolen the lead from Gasly in Gasly's old car. He's still pulling away, but those tyres are now reaching the point where any gain that they get is negligible. In fact, I think we're starting to close him back down again. Porsche is all over the back of Sainz. I think, yeah, Sainz overtook us.
Ferrari, advance the race position. We can take a look now. Let's have another look. Sainz is the focus here.
Oh, he got us into turn 7. Going up the hill. This is turning into a bit of a bonkers race. Surely Albon's going to pit. No, he's staying out. He may be on the wrong compound, but they are much fresher than our tyres. We're doing all we can just to hold Verstappen back. Let's check back in with Porsche. Porsche losing a lot of time to Sainz. Again, tyres. I mean, let's get a bit of battery in this car. Just a little bit.
Okay, recharge on.
Now we're starting to reel in Albon. Now that the wet tyres are really falling out of their window. This might be the lap that he pits. And there he goes. No, he's staying. I thought he was pitting. He's staying out. Okay, Albon has gone from a brilliant strategic call to now making a questionable one. We are scrapping tooth and nail with Verstappen. And we're about to bring Albon back into that fight. Very much against his wishes. And we've got a McLaren in front that's about to be lapped as well. Stroll, the other driver who's on wets, is up in 9th. He's just been passed by Perez. Porsche's got some battery. Let's put him back into neutral.
Let's go recharge off.
Someone's locked up. Is that one of the McLarens again? No, it's a Ferrari. A Ferrari's gone off into the wall, I think. I think we've had a Ferrari crash in turn 7. Is that Leclerc? It is.
It's a crash. Here's the replay. Watch this. There's Leclerc. Dear me.
So that's a broken front wing for Leclerc. We finally get on the inside of Gasly, of Albon, who still isn't pitting. Okay, now we want him to stay out as long as possible because now he's going to act as a roadblock to Verstappen.
Just gained by Williams.
Leclerc's race is done. He's going to be so far behind now.
No more rain expected.
And that's the end of the rain. So now it's just waiting for the slicks to come in. We're looking at 8 to 10 laps, I think. I'm going to increase the pace on the inters.
And we have margin to push a little bit more on the tires.
Okay.
Let's push, come on.
Actually, it might not even be that. It might only be about 5 laps. Can I show you the tyres so you know what everyone's on? in terms of percentage, we are the worst of the Inter runners. Stroll, Albon are the only two wet runners. Everyone else is on brand new Inters. And Albon finally pits. So he's going to Inters. I'm guessing Stroll's going to pit in. We've had a lock-up in Sector 1. Is that another Ferrari lock-up? Don't tell me Leclerc's just broken his wing again. Oh, it's Magnussen this time.
Let's take a look at the replay. Now just focus on the hat.
That's not Sector 1.
And this, yes, there, that's the lock-up.
That's near the end of Sector 3.
That's going to be a big blow.
Okay, gaps as Albon pits and Stroll pits. So everyone's on Inters now. Porsche is promoted up to 5th because of Albon pitting. We've got a 2.5 second gap over Verstappen that is increasing marginally. We're pushing our tyres harder, but they are a lot more worn. But I feel confident enough to do that given the fact that the rain has stopped and the track is just drying up. I don't think we're gaining on Sainz. Let's have a look at the times across the line. So we do a 1:23.9. Verstappen did a 1:24.2. So we are gaining 0.3 of a second over Verstappen. Sainz crosses the line, does a 23.9. Porsche does a 24.2. So we are losing a little bit of time as expected there. Perez, I think, has caught... Yeah, Perez has caught Ocon. So I need Ocon to hold him up. That'll do two things. That'll slow down Perez's charge back up through the field and also slow down Ocon as he goes defensive.
Unconfirmed, rain, stop.
Yeah.
A bit late on that message there, Mr. Hamlin. I can't believe we're back on for the win, considering how disastrous things were looking about 20 laps ago. We made a huge blunder on strategy, and then the AI made some serious blunders on their strategies, and it brought us right back into contention. Made up those 37 seconds and then some. You know, we basically had a 40-second swing between us and Verstappen. Now that we're 3 seconds ahead of him. Porsche still losing time to the Ferraris. I think if he was on the same level of tyre wear as the Ferraris, he would be closing in, but I think bringing in Porsche when I did, I know I kept Gasly out an extra lap, but bringing Porsche in when I did definitely saved his race. Because he doesn't have the same level of pace as Gasly. So that's what's kept him in the position where he's now back in the top 5. There's 2 mil left. Oh, we've had a lock-up. Sector 1, which could be anywhere on the track. I think it was at the chicane. Oh, we've had a crash.
Off there.
It's a safety car.
A crash, and it's more than
Is that a Red Bull?
car. Let's have a look. We're just watching.
It's Perez and Ocon. Oh, that's a bad one.
And there's
And that's a penalty for Perez as well. So Perez's race is done. Ocon might have some damage to contend with. I was hoping for a safety car there, because I would have brought both my drivers in for immediate switch onto medium tyres. Try and make the pit stop work as the track dried up behind the safety car. We've got another yellow flag. Is this just because of the confusion that's going on behind Russell? We've got Russell.
I think we've had a car run
Ocon.
wide. Let's
Vettel
take
had
a
a wobble.
closer look. Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel.
That's
and they've
nothing.
got-
Albon's still in the top 8. He's having a great race. Alonso's managed to fight his way into the top 10. Magnussen's in 10th. Vettel in 11th. Bottas, Stroll, Zhou all over the back of Stroll. Leclerc all the way down in 15th and still over 8 seconds behind Zhou. Then Tsunoda, then Perez. And Schumacher, and then the 2 Mercedes that are just way off the pace. You bring them in when the track's around about 1.2. I don't. I wait till the track is almost 1. Like, very close to 1. With another lockup. Drivers struggling in these conditions right now.
I think there's been a lock-up. Let's see what happened there.
Again, this isn't
Let's have a
sector
look here.
1.
This was the Aston Martin.
That's the
They've
final
locked
2
up, but
turns.
That could have been much.
Yeah, 1.2 is a little bit too soon. Between 1 and 1.1 is the earliest you should think about bringing them in. The AI doesn't usually pit until below 1. About 0.8, I think, is when the AI starts to switch. Because at 1.2, soft tyres are still struggling. Or dry tyres, so slicks are still struggling at 1.2. So you can lose a lot of time just getting them up to temperature and wait for that little bit of track to dry out. We've got another couple of laps. I think one more lap after this one, I think. Verstappen's starting to close us down now because our tyres are pretty much done. We've just about saved that fuel that we burnt at the start of the race as well. We have done with Teo, not quite with Gasly, who burnt a little bit more. And this is the lap we're going to bring him in.
Box.
This is the perfect lap. The track will be almost dry enough by the time we get to the pits, and it will be dry enough by the time we're about halfway around the lap, if not before.
Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please.
And then we see Verstappen not pitting yet. Track is pretty much the perfect changeover point now.
Feedback on conditions. People are talking about dry now. We're close to dry.
Yeah.
Okay, Gasly can just stay like this. Porsche is going to go a little bit more aggressive on his outlap. Someone locked up.
Oh, big lock up there. Here's the replay. Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll. Just a bit too heavy on the brakes, and they've locked up.
Final turn again.
All right, ready, push.
Porsche's, there we go. Let's say Porsche's timing screen was broken. Verstappen into the pits. And now Hamilton and Sainz as well. Are they going mediums or are they going to go hards?
Sainz in the pits.
Once again, we get out just in front of Verstappen. Still managed to lose a bit of time somehow, which is frustrating.
Alonso just pitted. Confirmed. Vettel has pitted.
We're down to 7th, but has anyone not pitted yet? Yeah, Bottas and Russell haven't pitted yet. So we will be back in 5th, and they've gone hard, they've gone soft tyres. Interesting, I don't think the softs could make it. Maybe they can, but they'll be really spongy at the end. Oh, I was never going to have a 10-second lead. I never for 1 second thought I'd be that far ahead. But I am surprised to see the AI going on to soft tyres. Right, we need to get past Bottas without getting held up here. we're going to get held up, but we are going to get DRS though.
DRS disabled. DRS disabled.
And Pourchaire's flap not opening up, so the glitch is affecting Pourchaire this week or tonight. We've lost a lot of time to Sainz. I don't understand how we've lost that much time. I know we lost a little bit of time behind Bottas, but to be 11 seconds behind, that's weird. Alright, there we go. Got a little bit of battery back into Pourchaire's car. Let's get him using it now. A lot of traffic coming up in front of Gasly. That's Perez, Leclerc, Zhou, Tsunoda, Stroll. I think... Is that it? Those 5? Yep. So the big question now is the AI going to two-stop this section of the race? We're going to the end on these mediums. Is the AI going to have to make a pit stop? I think they are. I don't think those soft tyres will make it another 22 laps, 21 laps. And I don't think Pourchaire is going to get much better unless they do pit, because they're DRS training each other up front, and Pourchaire is all isolated, so we're just going to keep losing ground on Hamilton and Sainz, who are training with the lapped McLarens right now. Look at lap times. Yeah, Sainz doing 0.3 a lap faster than Pourchaire at the moment. That McLaren might stay on the back of Sainz as well, which would then take him away from us being able to use him to get some DRS. Leclerc sets the fastest lap. A 1:17.3. Yeah, that's very quick. That's DRS enhanced, I think. So we'd like to try and get Pourchaire further up the field if we can, but I think he's probably going to stay roughly where he is unless they pit, and even then if they do pit, they're going to come out on brand new soft and be faster again. So I think 5th is probably the best we're going to get with Pourchaire, but we are still on for the win with Gasly. He has that extra pace inherent in his ability. We are keeping the gap to Verstappen at 1.5 seconds without doing any kind of push. We're just driving at a normal pace here, and we're only losing the odd 10th here and there, and that's going to stop happening once Verstappen's tyres hit 60% or 50%. So we might even see that gap start to go up a little bit. And if he does pit, that drops him 20-25 seconds behind us. So I think we're looking pretty comfortable for the win now. Once again, we are breaking the trend of the rest of the field. We're the only ones on mediums. Everyone else is on softs. Just going to explore the possibility of what would happen if I were to put Porsche onto a set of softs. Yeah, I'd lose too much time. I wouldn't make it back. But I might switch him late on to try and secure the fastest lap. It's not something I can really risk doing with Gasly. Unless Verstappen pits for softs, in which case I might box Gasly the next lap for a fresh set of softs. Does Gasly even have a fresh set of softs? No, he doesn't, but he does have some that are close to brand new. I know that it's highly unlikely that Verstappen's going to have another set of brand new softs. Right, let's take a look down the field and have a look at some of the battles behind us. We've got an interesting battle here for 7th. Alonso up to 7th now, chasing down Ocon just outside of DRS range with Russell and Albon right behind him. So we've potentially got a four-way fight here for 6th. How often are tyres refreshed? How do you mean, refreshed?
Sounds like someone's gone wide there.
Oh, someone went wide and I missed it. I didn't see who that was. When did the option to have new tyres every race? It's every race. Every race you get a fresh allocation of tyres. As we see Russell getting past Alonso there. You start with let me just actually pull up the tyre sets so I can explain. So you get that allocation of tyres every race. Now, at the end of practice, you have to give back 2 sets of tyres. Generally, they are going to be the 2 most used tyres. But if you only use 1 set of tyres in practice, it's going to be softs. So at the end of practice 1, if you go out with soft tyres on both runs, then it's going to be those 2 sets of tyres that get returned. And you can see the arrow there saying that tyre was returned. Then you have practice 2, same again. Tyres could be returned, so you can see we used mediums and those tyres got returned along with another set of softs. And then we went into practice 3 and I didn't use hards, which I should have done, so we lost another 2 sets of soft tyres, which is those two sets just there. We got one set given back to us once we reached Q3, because one set is reserved for the race, and an extra set is returned just if you make Q3. And then obviously you have the mediums and the hards that you didn't use that were reserved for the race. So these ones with a star here, these two were reserved. We gave back a set of inters, and then we have these inters and wet tyres, and then it'll be brand new tyres again for the next race. So right, Porsche has actually gained a little bit of time on sights. Not much, just a little bit. That might be because Sainz was getting past the second McLaren. We are now increasing the gap to Verstappen, so they've reached the point where those soft tyres are starting to get a little spongy for some of those guys. So their pace is going to start dropping off a little bit. So we should start to see as well, maybe Porsche starting to slowly come back at Sainz and Hamilton a little bit. Gasly fighting his way through some traffic right now. That also might account for changes in the gap. Although we're the only ones who've actually made an overtake so far. One more question for tonight. You get limited engines per season. Yes, you get 3 engines, 2 ERS modules and 4 gearboxes for the season. You can swap them out at any point, even between qualifying and the race, which you can't do in real life, but in the game you can. But yeah, you can swap them over at any point within your existing allocation. So there's no parc ferme in terms of engine components, even if there is on car components like underfloors and wings and things like that. You know, you can't switch to a brand new spec of wing once you started qualifying, because then you're locking in that spec of car. After that, you can buy an additional as many additional engines and ERS and gearboxes as you need as the season progresses, but each one will cost you $1 million. And the first time you make a change with a new engine component, that particular type, it will be a 10-place grid penalty, and then I think any subsequent change. So if you went to a fourth engine, that would be a 10-place grid penalty for that engine, and then if you then went to a 5th engine, I think that one from that point onwards it's only 5 places per penalty. You know, from that, you know, for a 5th or a 6th engine. But it's the same with ERS. So if you change to a new third ERS module, that's a 10-place penalty, and then I think any subsequent new modules after that in the ERS is also 5 places. Same gearbox. So 5th gearbox will be a 10-place, and then a 6th I think is just a 5-place, and so on and so forth. You know, 5 for every subsequent one after that. Am I still doing Haas tomorrow night? Yes, we are. We're doing Haas tomorrow night in preparation for the real US GP this weekend. Alright, gap is up to 2.7 seconds. That's good. Porsche still holding at around 12 seconds behind Sainz. 14 laps to go. Now it's 13 laps to go. Porsche now finally matching the pace of Sainz, slightly quicker than Hamilton by a tenth. We are slower than Russell though. Russell might have had a DRS overtake on the previous lap. In fact, yeah, he's overtaken Ocon, probably with DRS, which is why he was quicker that lap. Let's see what he does as he crosses the line this time. Porsche 118.1. Russell does a 118.3. Yeah, so without the DRS, he is actually slower than Porsche by a couple of tenths. But we are now matching the pace of the guys in front of Porsche, so that is only going to see their lap times get slower, more so than Porsche, because their tyres are going to be a lot worse off. If we take a look, 74% on Porsche's mediums against 56% on Sainz's softs, so they are now very much into the window where they're going to start really dropping off their pace. Gap's now up to 3.2 seconds. I'm actually going to drop the tyre pace down on...
Okay, we'd like you to slow
down,
please.
That's Porsche. It's not Porsche I want to slow down, it's Gasly I want to slow down. I want to save a little bit of that new engine, seeing as we are pulling away from Verstappen now. If Verstappen pits, we may increase that again, but I think given that there's not that many laps left, they may try and tough it out. I'm hoping they are going to tough it out. Ah, we've lost some time. Why have we lost some time? They DRS'd past Mick Schumacher, that's why. Have got a little bit of extra fuel to play with, so we'll start pushing that.
No lift and coast required.
Tyre wear is okay. I don't really want to push the tyres yet, just in case they aren't pitting. I want to save the advantage for as long as I can, and then really hammer the tyres in the last 5 laps. But we will push the fuel a little bit. Hamilton and Sainz are on each other, so yeah, they're leapfrogging, which is why we're now losing ground to them. That's frustrating. I thought for a moment we might have a chance of bringing Porsche back into the podium picture, but if they're going to keep doing that, they're going to keep swapping positions, they may well be able to stay ahead of me. Still need to think about making a sprint for the fastest lap. We'll do that with Gasly at the end of this lap, actually. We'll have a sprint lap. Let's charge up some battery.
Charge on.
And then while we've still got pretty good tyres, we'll have a blast for the fastest lap. I thought about maybe pitting Porsche for the fastest lap, but I would drop behind the battle from 6th all the way down to 9th. I should come out ahead of Vettel or close to Vettel, but there's no guarantee I'd be able to get past Russell, Vettel, Ocon, Albon and Alonso. So I'd probably just lose positions and gain 1 point, which would be a very poor trade-off.
On can use a deploy.
Okay.
let's go for a push.
Okay.
Lift and coast required.
I wonder if we can actually lap Leclerc in the process of taking the fastest lap from him. That would be sweet. After Bahrain, that would be so sweet. We're purple in the middle sector.
Keep an eye on the battery.
Copy.
And there we go, that's the fastest lap.
That was a very good lap. Need to drop the pace.
Yeah, copy.
We opened up the gap to Verstappen to 6 seconds as well, and I don't think they're pitting. I think they're going to stay out. Right, I'm going to charge up Porsche's battery a little bit more,
Recharge on.
but I am going to increase his tyre pace to compensate for that.
And keep going with the lift off. You're doing very good job. Keep going with the lift off.
Copy.
Need to catch these McLarens quickly so we can start getting some DRS. That'll help propel us forward.
Charge off.
Copy.
Recharge off.
There's Norris. Just disappearing into the distance in front of us.
Okay, Fernando has boxed. Fernando has boxed.
The AI is pitting. Alonso and Magnussen have boxed. I didn't know what their tyre percentage was, but that to me suggests that Verstappen, Sainz, maybe Hamilton are going to pit as well.
Six more laps. 6 more laps.
Sainz pits. Alright, we're going to have to leave Porsche on track. Gasly, we will pit if Verstappen pits, just to make sure that we can definitely keep fastest lap. Sainz is going to be mighty fast in these last few laps, but is that going to be too big of a gap for him to close us up? Ocon now into the pit window, potentially. Verstappen and Hamilton, surely they're going to pit now. Are we looking at a double podium after all? Hell, are we looking at a 1-2 maybe? I think Verstappen's a little bit too far ahead for a 1-2.
5 more laps.
Yeah, he is.
5 more laps.
But Hamilton's in range if he pits. Just coming around the final turn. Ah, we caught that McLaren at the wrong point. Hamilton stays out. We're going to lose the fastest lap. We're not going to be able to take that away, I don't think. If it's taken from us, we said a 1:16.4, which is pretty quick. But Leclerc,
They've gone
not
wide.
Leclerc, Ricciardo
Let's
running
take a
wide.
look at the replay. Now just take a look at the McLaren.
Oh, that's
They're
right in front of us
forced
as
wide,
well.
And they
Didn't really do anything. But if Sainz gets a DRS pass on Ocon, which is looking highly likely, actually he might get him before the DRS zone. Yeah, if Sainz is pushing, we're not going to have the pace to break the fastest lap again with brand new soft tyres against warm mediums.
4 more.
We'll harvest some battery just in case.
Charge on.
Yeah.
Save a little bit of fuel as well.
Keep up the lift off. You're doing a very good job.
Copy.
Perez is pitting. Oh, that's bad for us. Maybe. No, it's okay. Norris pits. Verstappen at 32%. Hamilton's at 33%. God, can you imagine if they both pit at the last minute? We're lapping half a second faster than Verstappen, nearly 7/10 faster than Hamilton. We haven't got enough laps to close them down, but if their tyres do hit the 30% cliff and really start to plummet, you never know. We're still holding on to the fastest lap. Sainz did a 1:17.9, which is what we're doing. Let's wait and see what he does when now he's got clear air. And that's another pit stop. Mick Schumacher pitting now. What is going on with these guys? Why are they not just roughing it out like Verstappen and Hamilton are? What do they possibly have to gain pitting this late and that low down the field? Okay, the AI is making some very questionable strategy calls today.
Come on, mate, let's go. Push. No lift and coast required from our side at the moment. Can we do lift and coast?
I'm trying to judge this so I don't pass before the DRS line. But still get the DRS. I think I might have just dropped short. I think I misjudged that. Yeah, I did. Okay, never mind.
Charge off.
Sainz does a 17.0. We're still in the clear for the fastest lap of a 16.4. If they're going to pit, they're going to pit at the end of this lap. It'd be bonkers if they do.
One more lap.
Okay.
Their tyres are a disaster right now, but I just don't think I've got enough time. If I had full battery...
No more DRS.
Maybe, but... their traction's going to be awful. You'll take Gasly just staying on the track. Yeah, that's why I'm not pushing him. I could have pushed him to try and lap Leclerc, but I'm like, nah, I'd rather A, protect the engine, B, make sure he doesn't do something stupid like throw it off. You know, with heavy braking. Unnecessary heavy braking as well. And there we go. We have our first win with Williams. Pierre Gasly.
And it's Gasly, first over the line.
Wins one of the
and
most
today's
bonkers
winner.
races we've
Let's
had
have
in a
look.
while.
It's first place for Pierre Gasly.
And you can hear just how happy the crowd are for them too. They're on their feet.
Porsche with a valiant fight back to finish in 4th place. Look how quick Sainz is in comparison to Albon, who stayed out. Pulled out 8.5 seconds on him. And we closed in on Hamilton, but we just didn't have enough laps left. We didn't have enough battery to capitalise, and we never really got the chance to use DRS in that race. We were always kind of isolated. But even so, a strong fight back from Teo. And him not finishing on the podium does mean we actually get to enjoy the podium celebration of Gasly getting a win. If Porsche had made it onto the podium, there wouldn't be a podium because Porsche doesn't have a head. And there he is, race winner. Final car crosses the line. That's Charles Leclerc, finishing in 12th. Everyone from Magnussen down was lapped.
Well, this weekend, Pierre Gasly flew us to the stars. This is a tremendous podium result. It's joy all around for the team. The Frenchman was in sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium finish here. Alongside them, of course, the other two talented drivers completing today's podium lineup. A very impressive showing today for Williams.
The whole team was absolutely on their game today, and the result proves that.
That's right, and they finished the race weekend in 3rd place in the constructor standings.
Coming up next, the teams will be taking a trip to the Sunshine State. The Hard Rock Stadium is laying down the track for a captivating race at the Miami Grand Prix.
What a result. I was crestfallen. 10 laps into that race because we screwed up the strategy and we dropped all the way down the field and we were just losing so much time. I never imagined we'd actually be able to get back into contention and then win pretty comfortably. I thought Teo would maybe get around 6th, 7th, 8th. I didn't think he'd be able to get back up to 4th. Kind of helped by Carlos Sainz inexplicably pitting for softs with just a few laps to go, although he did fight his way back up to 5th with some very strong pace. His fastest lap in the end, a 16.5. We just about hung on for the fastest lap with Pierre Gasly, a 16.4. What a chaotic race in places there. Max takes 2nd, Hamilton 3rd, Teo, as we said, in 4th, Sainz 5th, Albon, a huge result for him. Look at that, 14 places up off the start. He finishes in 6th place from last. What a result for Alex Albon. Ocon gaining 2 places, finishing 7th. Vettel with a good run, finishing 8th. Alpine getting both of their cars into the points. Bottas gets 9th, Russell 10th, Alonso ends up dropping back to where he started, 11th place. So Alpha's early promise looks to be faltering a little bit, and Alpine are definitely coming back into this. Charles Leclerc way down in 12th place, and then the lapped drivers of Kevin Magnussen, Yuki Tsunoda, then Zhou Guanyu, Lance Stroll, Perez all the way down in 17th, a disastrous race for him. Then Ricciardo ahead of Mick Schumacher, and Lando Norris bringing up the rear. Really disappointing for Lando. His season is not looking great. We look at the drivers' standings. Max claims the top spot on the podium, moves up 3 places ahead of his teammates and Carlos Sainz. Perez drops all the way down to 4th as we overtake him as well. We're now into 3rd place in the drivers' standings, and there's just 2 points between the top 3 at the top of the table there. Verstappen, Sainz and Gasly, separated by just those 2 points. Say it quietly, but Gasly could be on for a world championship. Leclerc dropping down 2 places to 5th with another lack of points this race. That's 2 non-points finishes this season out of 4. That's not good for Charles Leclerc. Pourchaire gets a big haul of points, moves him up to 6th ahead of Hamilton, who also has jumped up 2 places. Alonso dropping down. Russell, not having the greatest season so far, is down to 9th. Ocon stays in 10th. And Alex Albon's result moves him up to 11th ahead of Bottas. So, as we saw again, that early promise from Alfa Romeo seems to be faltering a little bit. Just 2 points gained this weekend. In the Constructors, Red Bull extend their lead over Ferrari. They're now 10 points clear. We consolidate 3rd place very comfortably ahead of Mercedes, and we're now closing in on Ferrari. We're just 13 points off them. If Leclerc keeps having nightmare races like this, we shall overhaul them pretty quickly. Alfa Romeo in 5th, Alpine moving closer, although they don't gain a position, they do move considerably closer, and AlphaTauri putting in a strong result as well. Haas, McLaren and Aston Martin still yet to score. No points in terms of development for our drivers, but a very, very good race for Teo. Exceptional result for him, exceptional result for Pierre Gasly, and some more experience gained for Logan Sargent as well. In terms of payouts, 25 grand goes to Teo for finishing 10th or higher. Our sponsor objectives, we achieved our incentives of the fastest lap and reaching Q2. Our guarantees we completed with our finish position, our Q3 and our qualifying position. We get another 4 mil as a base rate from our sponsors, meaning we come away with 5.2 million, and we keep our streaks intact as well. So next up is Miami in 11 days. Let's see what's going on before Miami. Checking from the board, they now have high confidence in our leadership as team principal. We have a review in 3 months. Let's take a quick look at the board confidence. Still disappointed over finances, but that will eventually, hopefully, level out. They are happy on objectives because we've already completed the 2022 objective, which was to finish in 9th. They will be delighted if we keep this going and score points in 7 of the remaining races of the season. Race results, absolutely delighted, as you would expect, for winning a race for the first time since the first time in 10 years. I think 2013 I think was their last race win at Barcelona with Pastor Maldonado. And of course, high confidence there. Let's take a quick look at our facilities while we're here. Design centre. We can go ahead and upgrade the design centre if we have the money, which I think is going to be about 18 mil. It is 18 mil, a bit too much. Let's take a look at operations. The weather centre is going through an upgrade right now. We've got 21 days left on that. The car park test centre is being upgraded. Staff facilities, we're still looking good on the Team Hub and Race Sim, although that's getting closer and closer to needing a refurb. So we can now afford to to upgrade our wind tunnel. But before we go ahead and do that, I do want to check upcoming development. We might have to spend a fair bit of money quite quickly on new car parts, and I want to make sure I've got the money to do that. No points for our engineers. Pierre gets high morale because his driver won. We are 3 weeks away from Simone Resta getting a new point. 2 weeks away from Diego Tondi getting a new point. Drivers, no points as we saw earlier. Let's look at the cars. We are 3 days away from our new suspension. That should be relatively cheap to fix. So let's go ahead and drop on that upgrade for the wind tunnel. That leaves us with 750k. That should be enough to purchase the new suspension parts. The board watched the race at the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari this weekend and could not be happier that you led the team to victory. Be assured, wins like this will increase the board's confidence in you immensely and will guarantee you job security and funding in the seasons to come. Good. Pierre Gasly claimed the checker flag at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix last weekend, finishing ahead of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, who shared the podium. After qualifying P1 on Saturday, Pierre Gasly was able to maintain their lead and secure a fantastic victory. The success of Pierre Gasly this weekend has moved them up to P3 in the Drivers' Championships, ahead of Sergio Perez. Currently, Verstappen is leading the Drivers' Championship with a healthy 61 points. Carlos Sainz is following in P2 with 60 points, ahead of Pierre Gasly in P3 with 59 points. Everyone is talking about Williams as they exceed everyone's expectations, currently placing P3 in the Constructors' Championship with 90 points. Red Bull are on top with 113, followed by Ferrari with 103, Williams on 90. Despite some bold moves and close racing from the world's fastest drivers, it was fortunately a race free of retirements, and I think this one actually was. I think this one was free of retirements, not like the last one where 2 drivers retired and we had a race free of retirements. Report from Diego Tondi. Let's see. Yeah, we knew our speed had dropped a little bit. Our low speed has dropped compared to the field as well. Our cooling isn't great, but we still have that edge over the rest of the field in medium and high speed cornering. That's good to see. We do have a new ATR period today as well. Okay, so we'll have some funds to spend. Right, we have a brand new suspension. Let's go ahead and get that manufactured. The Grand Prix is in 8 days. If we rush, we can get 2. But we won't get the third one until after the Grand Prix. I would kind of like to have 1. So we're going to emergency manufacture 1 of them. And then we're going to rush another 2. And that way we'll have a spare. In case one of our drivers puts it in the wall in practice or quali. And if worse comes to worse, we can always emergency manufacture one on the day as well. Let's equip that onto Gasly's car. And it's going to give us a slight boost to acceleration and medium speed cornering. We're now top in medium speed cornering as well. Very nice. And that's what it would do for our other car. Give us a boost to low speed cornering, etc, etc, etc. So that's looking nice. Must remember to fit the other one before the race. Right, we do have some points to spend aero-wise, but we don't have the funds right now, so we're probably not going to design anything new until after Miami. But let's take a quick look and see. In terms of research, we've already got research started, I think. Yeah, we've got side pod research started right now. A new front wing is being manufactured. We do definitely need a new front wing. What could we do to boost our car's performance? Could go with another chassis. Could go with another rear wing. Could go with another underfloor, actually. Let's just spec this out and see how this would look. We go for another big underfloor. Okay, that would improve our top speed. If we increase drag reduction, that would improve our acceleration. We do need to work on our low speed cornering. Airflow sensitivity wouldn't really improve anything specific. We could look at maybe reducing the airflow sensitivity. We'd still get a gain. And doing that, does that have a positive impact? It does increase our top speed, our low, medium and high speed cornering without increasing their ranking. And it does give us an extra, well, if we were to push it up, then obviously we'd lose a little bit of top speed on DRS, but yeah, that would be worth a little bit extra. So that would come to 1 million, plus if we went intense on that, that would take 94 days, 4 engineers, we'd get that to 73. We could probably get that down to about 60 days with 6 engineers. So we'd be looking at getting that somewhere around Britain or Austria. Probably Austria, which would be a great Grand Prix for it, because then, you know, or even France. So I think that's what we might well do. We might wait till after Miami and drop a new underfloor on. What if I were to take a little bit off the medium speed and a little bit off the high speed, or a fair bit off the high speed? We'd still stay best in class with the underfloor in those categories. We'd still stay best in class overall on the car. We'd still be getting minimal gains. And doing that would give us a little bit more top speed out of the floor and some increase to our low speed performance as well. So yeah, that might be well how we go for it. I mean, we could maybe even reduce drag reduction a little bit. That would improve low speed even more. But we would lose out on our top speed and acceleration. So I think that's how we're going to spec the wing, or spec the floor, once we get through Miami. So let's check the rest of our emails. Got a week to go. We are low on suspensions. We're low on underfloors right now as well. Okay, so we need another underfloor. Must have damaged one and I forgot, or maybe I just forgot to create a new one. There we go. So manufacturing projects right now, we have new suspension on the way, and new underfloors. Did that say I need a new chassis as well? It did. So let's go ahead and make a new chassis as well. There we go, 8 days. That'll be ready on qualifying day. So we'll be back up to 2 spares for quali and second practice. Okay, pushing on. Weather center is in poor condition, but it's in the middle of a refurb right now, so that's an upgrade, so we don't have to worry about that. Race preview, new underfloor. Car part test center is improved, excellent. That'll improve our cooling for future upgrades on both brakes and engines with front wings, and I think, is it the chassis or the suspension? I think it's the suspension. And there we go, we are at the Miami Grand Prix. So, an excellent race today. It was a bit doom and gloom for a moment. I honestly thought that we were completely boned when I made the wrong call on strategy and went straight to wets instead of going to inters. I thought it was going to get wetter than it did, and ultimately that cost us a very comfortable win. But if we'd stayed on inters, we might possibly have panicked into full wets when the AI did later in the race. So who knows? Who knows how we might have reacted in that situation? It's impossible to say. You know, we might have panicked into the change because we didn't want to lose the win. You know, or lose track position from the lead there, and that could have cost us badly as well. So, all in all, very, very happy with the way that the race turned out, especially after that disastrous start to the race. We got our first win under our belt as head of Williams. It's our second podium of the season. We're comfortably up to third in the constructors. Our drivers are looking very, very strong as well, sitting in third and sixth. I am very, very happy with the way this weekend has gone. We've got Miami coming up, where we should be pretty good. I mean, given where our car is, let's have a quick look at our car overview. See if the AI is bringing any more upgrades to Miami. It doesn't look like it. Our low-speed dirty air cornering is pretty decent. I don't think we're seeing any changes from the AI for this particular race. In terms of what was I going to check? Oh yeah, the circuit itself. Let's see how it breaks down. There's a very, very fast first section, as you can see. It's all high-speed cornering from the line through to the end of the first sector, effectively, with which ends just past that medium corner. Then it's all flat again, and then we go into the slow twiddly stuff, and that is where our car's going to be at its weakest. So we could potentially struggle in those areas there in terms of traction, in terms of acceleration, trying to stay on the back of cars that may have a little bit more speed than us. Remember, we are the 9th fastest straight line car on the grid, so there are 4 teams that have more straight line speed than us, and that could with that combination of low gear, low grip, and not the greatest top speed, could hurt us in the third sector. But the first sector, I think we're going to be golden. So, yeah, that'll be our race for Monday. Tomorrow we are back with Haas for the US GP, for the Grand Prix of the Americas at COTA. So same time, 10:30. We'll be racing with Haas tomorrow night, and then, as I say, Williams will be back on Monday. And then I'm going to try, if I can tear myself away from this game, to try and record some more Construction Simulator over the weekend. So hopefully those vids will be back next week as well. So until tomorrow night, thanks for watching. I'll see you all again very soon.